Now we will talk about self-motivation. As we know, self-motivation is a very important concept for young ethical leaders. So, the best kind of motivation is self-motivation. To demonstrate this, let's consider two scenarios you likely experience. First one, you have something you have to do, you're not excited or passionate about it, but you know you need to get it done. This feeling of obligation motivates you to work hard and complete the task. And the second one, you have something you get to do, you are interested in your task. You might have even assigned this task for yourself rather than receiving from someone else, and you are happy to put it in time and effort to complete it. So, in which scenario are you more often effective? In which scenario you're most efficient? And in which scenario you feel most fulfilled? Well, I'm willing to bet that your answer, yes, it's the scenario number two. It's likely won't come as a surprise that doing something for your own sake and for your own purpose is likely to be more fulfilling, enjoyable, and successful than doing something to meet external standards or to please others. Motivation is in the simplest form the force that drives you do things. So, skills you need. It's the drive that you have to work towards your goals, to put effort into self development, and to achieve personal fulfillment. It's important to know that self motivation is generally driven by intrinsic motivation, a kind of motivation that comes from sincerely waiting to achieve a desiring the inherent rewards associated with you. Self motivation can be driven by extrinsic motivation to drive to achieve that what comes from wanting the external rewards like money, power, status, and recognition, although it's clear that intrinsic motivation is usually a more effective and fulfilling drive. So, let's talk next about self motivation, and I would like to pay attention to emotional intelligence. Okay, so according to the emotional intelligence, such kind of experts, because we do have pretty active experts in this field, like Daniel Goleman, self motivation is a key component of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is a measure that one's ability to recognize and manage his her own emotion and the emotion of other people. Self motivation is relevant to emotional intelligence and highlights its role without our ability to understand others, relate to others, such as succeed in reaching our goals. Goleman states that there are four components of motivation. So first one is achieving drive of a personal drive to achieve, improve, and meet certain standards. The second one is commitment to your own personal goals. Number three is initiative of a readiness to act on opportunities. And number four, this is optimism or tendency to look ahead and in a preserve with benefit that you can reach your goals. There are different kind of examples of self-motivation, but I'll tell you three. So there are three examples of self-motivation. First, I want to say that self-motivation is easy to understand when we consider these three examples. So first one, for example, a man who goes to work every 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 only as a means to pay the bills, keep his family off his backs, and please his boss is not self-motivated. Well, a man who needs to external force to make the trick into work every day and finds fulfillment in what he does, well, he is self-motivated. Okay, this was first example. The second example is the student who only completes her homework because her parents remind her or him about this, or because they ground her when she falls to complete. It is not self-motivated. But the student who completes her homework, who know prodding because she wants to learn and succeeds in school, is actually self-motivated, and usually they have the most success because they do love what they do. And number three, the woman who only goes to gym with her friends, drag her there, or because her doctor is adamant that she needs to exercise to get healthy, is not self-motivated. But the woman who likes to, in a way, exercise, make her feel good, and schedules time at the gym, whatever, if someone is encouraging her or not, is a self-motivating thing. As you can see, self-motivation is all about your drive comes from, is your motivate where your motivation comes from. And if you want to achieve your personal reasons, personal goals, yes, by your own wish, yes, this is considered self-motivation. If you are only motivated to achieve standards set by someone else, not for your own internal satisfaction, you are probably not self-motivated. It's possible to be self-motivated in some areas and not in others. For example, if a man from the first example is not internally motivated to go to work, but is sure to make time for his marathon training, he's not self-motivated when it comes to work, but might be self-motivated, for example, to run. Yes. Are three questions you can use to determine whatever you or someone in your life is self-motivated. First is, can you do it? The second is, will it work? And number three, is it worth it? If your answer is yes to each question, you are likely self-motivated. If you believe you can do it, you have self-efficacy. If you believe it will work, you have a response efficacy. Believe that the action you are taking will lead to the outcome you want. And if you believe it is worth it, you have weighted the cost against the consequences and decided the consequences overrode the cost. Speaking of consequences, Giller considered consequences to be one of the four vital C words under the underpin of self-motivation. Four, and I will talk about it. The first one is consequences. To be self-motivated, you sincerely have to want the consequences associated with the actions you take rather than simply doing something to avoid negative consequences. The second competence, if you answer all three of the question above with yes, you will feel competent in your ability to get this done. Number three, choice, having a sense of autonomy over your actions, engage self-motivation. And number four, community, having social support and connection with the others is critical for feeling motivated and believing in yourself, in your power to achieve. Okay, so much if we talk about Giller's work of self-motivation. There are also different kind of self-efficacy researchers, for example, Albert Bandura. So in 1989, Bandura set the stage of Geller's current conceptualization of self-motivation with this description. So self-motivation requires personal standards, again, which to evaluate our ongoing performance by making self-satisfaction conditional or a central level of performance. Individuals create a self-inducement to persist in the effort until the performance matches internal standards. Both the anticipated satisfactions for matching attainments and the dissatisfaction with insufficient ones provide incentives for self directed action. From these quotes, which I said, you can see Keller's three questions come from believing that you can do what it will work, and that is it worth it will drive you to match the internal standards you set for yourself. So, just talking a bit about the importance of self motivation. As you have likely already guessed, self motivation is an important concept. While pleasing others and meeting external standards can certainly motivate us to get things done, such efforts aren't exactly labors of love. In other words, doing things because we feel we have to do them or to gain some external reward is enough in many cases, but it doesn't invoke the passion needed to drive innovation and excellence. It's fine to use external sources to motivate you in some areas, but external motivation is less likely to leave your feeling passionately fulfilled and finding deeper meaning of your life. Not only do we generally do better work when we are self motivated, but we are also better able to cope with stress. And we are simply happier when we are doing what we want to be doing. Yes. So, if we talk about if self motivation is a skill that can be developed through training, well, the answer is definitely yes. Given the benefits of being self motivated, um, this is a question which we easily can say yes. Self motivation is driven by a set of skills that are with your control. There are some tip skills which can motivate your everyday work. So first one, setting high but realistic goals. You can use SMART goals, which is actually very useful for setting these realistic goals. The second one is taking the right level of risk. The number three is constantly seeking feedback to figure out how to improve. The number four is being committed to personal or organization goals and going the extra mile to achieve them. Number five is actively seeking out opportunities and seizing them when they occur. And number six is being able to deal with setbacks and continue to pursue your goals despite obstacles. Okay, and further, there are six things you can do to maintain your self motivation. And the first one is to continue learning and acquiring knowledge. It's your love for learning. The second one is to spend time with motivated, enthusiastic, and supportive people. This is very important. The one you are surrounded of. Number three is cultivate a positive mindset and build your optimism and resilience. Well, it may look a bit silly, but actually it's very important because a lot of people have a really weak and low self-esteem, and that doesn't really work well. Identify your strengths and weaknesses and work on them. You even can make a list of which are your strengths and weaknesses and try to fight with them. Avoid procrastination and work with your time management skills and get help when you need it and be willing to help others succeed. By the way, I know people which cannot ask for help, and in conclusion and result they do a lot of mistakes. It's normal, it's absolutely perfect for you to not know something and to ask for help. Actually, it was discovered that these people that ask for help are more successful because they are making a step forward. They are willing to make mistakes. They are not afraid. We are fighting with with our fears, fighting with everything, with our low self-esteem, and this is actually helping a lot. There are of course different kind of strategies for youngsters, students to increase their self-motivation to study. Okay, this might be a very big problem and student, but Well, students are particularly well suited to reap the benefit of self motivation, but it can be hard to self motivate in the current education environment. As we can see, sometimes the most smart students don't really get the biggest marks, maybe because they're afraid of standing up and just reading the paper they created and they worked on because of because they think that maybe it's not good enough, when others who has better self motivation, when they are doing that they get better marks because they act more leadership like, and it's actually working very good. Well, luckily, there are some things you can do as teacher, parent, adults, and mentor to help students to become more self motivated, but even you as students to become self motivated. So there are a lot of strategies that you as students or adults can help and apply. Mm, so these are some ideas how to encourage self-motivation in students. First one is to provide students with as much autonomy and freedom of choice as possible. For example, give students a choice in their sitting arrangements or a range of options for their final project, and implement problem-based learning. Provide useful feedback, praise hard work, and deliver critical feedback using words like and what if instead of but to encourage student competence. Number three is to cultivate a high quality relationship with your student by taking a genuine interest in them, acting friendly, staying flexible, keeping your focus and at the end goal of learning and not giving up on them. And by the way, the students can do the same once we are in a class. This actually is the best relationship that you can have. It works best. It will gonna make people melt, and it doesn't matter what kind of person is, because time can change anyone. So um, try to use this. It works, and acting friendly is a good way for you to also get more liberal, more free, and get self-motivated. Also, encourage, if you're a teacher, yes, encourage your students to think about, write about, and discuss how what they are learning is relevant to their own lives. And by the way, you as student can give examples as well, which works great. And here are some ways that students can bolster their own self-motivation. So for you as help is to attach meaning to your studies and take personal ownership over your knowledge and learning. Also to create a plan. Map out your semester, your month, your work, and even your day. Build a routine and apply time management skills to become more organized and productive. It identifies several comfortable studies. So about studies, they should be quiet and have few distraction. And nine, to get enough sleep, eat nutritious food and exercise regularly, stay healthy and sleep. Everyone makes fun of sleep, but no, it's actually very important. Your rest will make you more successful and will actually increase your self motivation. Um, tame time monsters like internet video games and unproductive time spent with friends. For example, you have something really important, then maybe you should just stop for a while. Avoid multitasking by choosing one subject or task to work on at time and focus all your attention on it. Take planned and well earned breaks to stay refreshed and motivated. Connect with a support system of friends and family who will encourage you to do your best, and talk positively to by yourself. Yes, just love yourself. Okay, how to foster self-motivation in the workplace. You may find it much easier to encourage self-motivation in the workplace than in school. After all, everyone in a workplace is there because they choose to be there, not because they are required to be there by the law or by their parents or because of his diploma. Employees might have a vastly desperate reason for being at work, but it's unlikely they were completely to work for their specific organization against their will here. Okay, as a manager, there are many ways to foster self motivation in the workplace, including giving your employees one on one attention, like feedback and recognition. Ensure your employees have opportunities for meaning advancement, as well as training and education opportunities. Set the example in terms of tone, work ethics, and values. Be a role model for positive, optimist, and hard work. Cultivate an uplifting and motivating culture that encourage employees to want to do their best. Foster socialization for teamwork and team-based activities, projects, and events. Stay as transparent as possible and open yourself up to questions, concerns, and ideas from your employee. Implement an open door policy to ensure your employees feel heard. So, guys, there are some strategies from Nick Nanton and Dick Dick's at the first company that probably you would like to know. So first one is sell your mission statement to your team as you would to an investor. Ensure the people working to meet the mission understand and buy into it. Foster a culture in which each employee has a specific job and a specific role with the organization, and give them a room to grow and opportunities to implement ambitious new ideas. Focus on inspiring your staff instead of just motivating them. Inspired employees will inherently be motivated. Show your team recognition and appreciation for the hard work they do. Share your passion with the team and lead from the front of developing positive mindset. And having a positive attitude is also very important. Of course, there are also some techniques to motivate yourself at work. You can also take control on your own self-motivation at work. That's important. So first one is finding work that interests you. This is a vital tip. It's much easier to be self-motivated when you are passionate about what you do and you're fully engaged in it. Request feedback from your boss and colleagues to learn about where you can improve and enhance role charity. Learn new skills that is relevant to your role, like your desired role. Ask a friend, for a rise. Um, the financial incentives are generally considered extrinsic motivation, but if you are happy with position, being paid is what you think you worth, then you can actually ask because you are self-motivated. Remind yourself of your why, the reason you do the work you do. Then you are doing a meaningful work. You are more likely to find fulfillment and stay self-motivated. Volunteer your service to others. This is especially helpful if you have trouble defining your why. Take a vacation to allow yourself to rest, recharge, and come back refreshed and ready for work. While self-discipline and self-motivation are two distinct concepts, self-discipline is vital for maintaining self-motivation. It's not enough simply to be motivated to achieve your goals. You need to couple self-motivation and self-discipline. A study of online learners showed that even though they might all be considered self-motivated, since they are all taking a voluntarily course with the goal of learning, those who self-disciplined were the most likely to succeed. Those who were highly self-disciplined display higher competence at the end of the course. fulfilled more external tasks. Um, okay, now we'll talk about self-motivation and weight loss. Okay, it may be funny, but very often self-motivation is a key component of weight loss. Research on the connection between this is quite clear. Yes, so multiple studies, researchers find that participants who reported greater autonomy, support, and self-determined motivation were more efficient of losing weight, more likely to keep weight off for longer periods of time, and more positive about their weight loss journey. Now we'll talk about the importance of meditation to promote self-motivation. Meditation can be a great way to help to maintain self-motivation. Some things just cannot be passed over from one person to another, and self motivation is one of them. Being confident of your self motivation comes with a person drawing various sources of motivation, incentives. You can gain self confidence from basically anything that motivates you, whatever it's a personal friend encouraging you, a life goal that is pressing up you, and simple things of life that makes you really worth. Everyone has the power to be motivated. You just need to find where to go from. Okay, there are many techniques that you can follow to self-motivate you. The first one, which is I think is very important, is to get out of from your usual comfort zone. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. With the help to avoid making mistakes and come from making millions of them, as I said before. But of course, finish what you start. This is a problem of many people. We are quickly to work on something new or take up a challenge, but when it comes to pulling through, till the end they simply don't. Make an effort to finish off what you had started. This is a great way to accomplish your goals and improve your self-esteem. Also, maybe it's broad, but it's also important. This is to educate yourself. Reading motivational books, follow industry leader, or watch video clips, famous speakers that are doing it right. This is important, and informed people will always make better choices and seize opportunities where they present themselves. Also, believe what you can do. Many therapists will agree that this is probably the first step of gaining self confidence. Think about it. If you don't believe in something, how can you accomplish it? Don't get um, held back on this stumbling block. Yes, know that you have the ability to accomplish your goal. Okay, number five, never give up when you are frustrated or you know success in failure. Visualizing what you want to accomplish is a common technique that many motivational speakers will. It helps you stay focused and constantly remind you why you're doing something. Your mind will associate pain and pleasure with success and failure. So it helps you to visualize all the rewards aspects that comes with success while remaining you of all the negatives in failing a task goal. All of these aspects can significantly contribute to self-motivation.